Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Tactical Tuesday, where we talk tactics here and more. And tonight's topic covers a bit of everything. It is creating a prepper group. And here I am. All right. And I just realized I forgot to turn the other light on here. All right, there we go. So let's hit the chat up here and say hello to everybody. First one in was Phelan Clan Wolf, followed by Troop 1351, and then Crew 1351, then Chef Tech, then Sofa Survivalist, poking fun at each other. Shady Hill Homestead came in, then Geeky Gardens and Diana. And let's see what we got here. And the best comment so far. All righty. So tonight I'm going to be doing solo up here because this is going to be more like a classroom. And that's what the stuff is set up for information. I'm going to try to keep it so it's not death by PowerPoint. But I will use some specific slides to talk about certain things. So, drink some water here. I can tell already my throat's sore. All right. Okay, so I actually moved this one up on the schedule again because I got several questions and got a couple emails about it again. And so, yeah, this is one of those things people think about it, they see it, they think about it, and they take some notes down, and they forget where they put the notes, and they want to know, and they try to think, well, maybe it's time to get, to set up a group and stuff. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And we're talking about all the things you need to take into consideration when forming a group, a prepper group, survivalist group, whatever you want to call it, and some of the things you need to consider for everything. All right, so let's hit over here with this one here. Yes, it's blank, right? Sort of. What I want to I want to leave it because you're going to start with a blank slate, okay? And in that blank slate, you need to figure out what you want to put in there. All right. So being a blank slate, you can't go into assumptions of, oh, I'm setting it up. I'm going to be the leader. You may not want to be the leader. You may find out that there are others that are wanting to join your group that have more skills than you do. And it might be advantageous to let someone else take the hard leadership position and you be a strong supporter. All right. So now let's go back to the blank slate. You want to have people that you have are common. You have a common goal and like-mindedness with. What do I mean by that? This includes structure. How do you want to set it up? Do you want to set, and we'll talk about different types of groups here in a little bit, how you want to set it up, the structure, how it's going to be organized, how it's going to run. So you got your rules, your regulations, not just for how it's going to run, but how someone joins the group. What are the requirements for someone to be able to join the group? Yes, this means you're going to probably want to be a little bit finicky on who you let in. Ownership. Ownership is one of the ones which we will get into when we talk about types of group. Is it something that is actually owned? Is there land involved? Is there just a group getting together and planning things out? ownership also refers to, I want to say the chores, the duties, the details of organizing it, the ownership of each one's individual responsibilities to the group. All right, because any separate prepper group, it should be, oh, okay, I joined, I'm good. No, there's going to be more involved in it than just that. Have a common goal for what the end game is. What is the end game of the group? What is its goal? Is it to just survive? Is it to build a community so that after everything else falls down, where you can actually build stuff back up again? Is it just to create a farm or something where you can grow all your own food and just be self-reliant, just sitting there after the Twaki or the SHTF event has happened and everything's fallen down? Is it just to learn stuff and just to exist? Doctors, dentists, lawyers, bankers, survival group, LLC. What sort of group do you want to have? All right. No, that was from the other one. So that's as far as I went on this one here, because, and let me drop back here and bring up the other one, because most of it's already incorporated in the other one here, and that is going to be, come on, get up there, this one here. There we go. So I'm going to cover some of the different ones here, about what they do and how, what you need to decide what sort of group you want to create. Because if you're thinking about setting one up, you're going to be involved in the creating process, and you don't want to just have to conform to something somebody else has up to. You want to be able to have some control over it and to work on it. You'd be surprised, because you're going to need someone to set up laws again, and hopefully you have the right lawyers that realize less laws is better. But there will have to be rules. All right, so let's go back over here. So this is from a presentation I did about 2 years ago, and so we're going to cover what prepper groups. And I threw this one in here for Steve at Corsair Trainers. And for those of you who are old enough to remember the original Red Dawn, you'll understand it, because they've wound up creating a group of, a survival group of their own and a resistance group. But there are the lone wolves, which I don't think anybody in here wants to be a lone wolf. I think I've gone over it enough, just mentioning it. Lone wolves are, plan to go it alone. They're usually single individuals, but they can be a single family unit. Generally, they do not have enough supplies. They can become a threat to others. Some may decide to join a group later because they realize, crap, this is harder than I thought. It's not the romance I thought it was going to be. For the most part, if they stay on their own, they will not survive. Uh-oh. Hang on. What just happened here? There we go. That's back up. Stupid Windows. They dropped everything down. Just went, dropped everything down. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, for the most part, they won't survive. And let's go over here. There's a group called teams. Teams are small units, 10 to 12 individuals plus. They are very very structured with rigid and specific rules. They have a specific ideology. They often run on a military style run on a military style of leadership. Leadership is fixed. They may or may not own lands, and they can become a threat to others because of their shortfalls. All right. And then the wolf pack or the nomads. That's what the two previous pictures were leading up to. Wolf pack / nomads are mobile groups. They're larger than teams. They plan to wander until everything settles down. Travel like the nomads of the deserts with belongings. They take everything with them. They go from when an area starts getting too hot, they just keep on moving to an area that's not quite so contested. Some of the nomads or wolf packs will have livestock. Usually they have a set leadership or a rigid leadership organization in place. It is a hard lifestyle. A lot of people can't handle it. Tribes are larger than teams, less rigid in their daily rules. Their ideology may become ritualistic. There may be set joining requirements. May or may not own land. Usually, leadership is set, but not always. There may be requirements to be able to challenge leadership. Village are larger than tribes, more open in their specific rules and ideologies. Leaders are generally elected in a village. There may be set joining requirements. May or may not own land. One of their plans or their end games is establishing a community with businesses. A general store, a blacksmith, a grist mill. Certain people will plan on people having businesses to try to get civilization going again. A MAG. This is one a lot of people hear a lot of. A mutual assistance group. Established MAGs are large, but not as large as a MAC or a CAG. They are more formal or structured than a MAC or a CAG with written rules. Most are set up as a legal entity. MAG members are more spread out than those of a MAC or a CAG. They will often own land with buildings on it. Upper leadership are usually permanently in place. They may have membership levels and buy-in costs. Often they do background checks. A MAG or a CAG. A MAG is a mutual assistance community, and a CAG is a community assistance group. They are very similar, and sometimes the only difference between them is what they want to call themselves. They vary in sizes from very small to very large. Locally based for most members. Do not own specific land for member use. Generally, they're not found in or near big cities. They generally no dues or buy-in are required. Easier to join than more formal groups. Skill cross-training is often encouraged to the point that they often have classes to teach each other what they know. They realize that having more people know more skills will make for a more resilient organization. All right, back to the doctors, dentists, lawyers, bankers, survival group, LLC. An LLC, a limited liability corporations. Sizes vary from small to large. Usually set up with members as shareholders, so you buy into it. Very structured with specific rules, bylaws, predetermined membership levels, and stock/buy-in costs. the company or corporation owns the land. Skill cross-training is often required, and background checks are often a must as well. So basically, an LLC sets it up to protect the members and to protect the members from things that happen from the LLC, and to protect the LLC from things that the members do. Simple. This is done long before SHTF. Long before SHTF. Tuke V is here. I need a tag. Tuke Assistance Group. All right. So yeah. So basically, like right now is, in fact, I've known some LLCs that have been set up for 10 years already, and they go along, they do things. As they grow, they buy more land, adjacent land. They actually some of them have people that live there permanently to make sure the buildings are maintained up, to make sure no one breaks into the property and steals stuff. They plant orchards and make sure the orchards are taken care of. They run gardens there. Members come out on the weekends to help in the gardens and stuff. Food from the orchards and gardens are distributed to members that come out based on the amount of time they're coming out there, so they can take stuff home, so nothing goes to waste. They often will have when they have the gardens and stuff, they'll also set up, or they have canning kitchens, so they can teach each other canning and preserving, and they do that with the stuff they grow and raise. Some LLCs even have livestock maintained there as well. So, yeah, it's like a company. It's set up to provide for its members. So, yeah, and besides LLCs, other legal entities they use S-Corps, trusts, land trusts, and stuff, and use multiple layers to protect the assets and to limit liability against individual members as much as possible as well. And so this one takes a bit more work to set up and get going, because basically you got to register an LLC. You wind up getting land. And that's why an LLC will probably have several trusts under it. They'll have a land trust under it. They'll have a banking trust set up under it to manage assets and stuff. But yeah, I've worked with a couple of these, and I don't always agree with everything they're doing, but for the most part, they have their reasoning, and generally everyone's of like mind. They're buying into it. They're going to be of like mind of the way it's being. Okay, yeah, that was the end of that one. Okay. So, in thinking about how big of a group you want to get, how fast you want to get big, how long you want to stay small and slowly grow, a lot of that depends on your mindset as far as how you see the need for it coming along. I know of a couple of groups that have been set up by farmers or ranchers where they have extra land, and they realize that if things go south, they're going to need extra help either to run the cattle or run the horses or Prepper 101, yeah, or a farmer who knows that if things go bad, he may not be able to get fuel for his operation, or if he's is planning like raising corn or something to make biofuel to run his equipment. It's going to take more than just him, because he's going to need people to run the biofuel part. He's going to need more people to run it to be able to keep producing food. All right, so you got to think about what you really want in a group that you want to belong to. Now, some people at this point decide, okay, I decide I don't want to, I'm really not interested in setting it up anymore because that's a lot of work. How do I go about finding groups? There are different platforms out there, and like there's different like on come on, Discourse has groups set up on it, and they got groups like on Facebook and stuff where people join the group, and from that the Facebook group find out, all right, these are, here's one in this state, here's some in this state, different ones, and people connect through different social media groups to find a group in their area that they want to join with, and then they go meet with them and see, and talk to them and discuss and find out if this is really the type of group they want to join. Yeah. Yeah. Now, let me look at something here on this real quick. Let me go back and look at something here. Now, a MAC or a CAG, a community-based one. So there'll be people within several miles. You wind up getting to know each other. Some may be on the same street, the next block over, stuff. You get together. So basically, you don't have you don't have so what I'm looking for. Having a brain fart here on it. So with those, you generally have land that individuals own, and so looking out for each other in a bad situation, it's kind of hard because you are spread out a little bit, even though you're in a community. All right, Discord is not discourse. Explain that a little bit. Okay, Discord. Yeah. There's also there also are groups that set up on all right, so you got Facebook, you got LinkedIn, you have so all the different social medias that have groups or pages on it, they set up things on it. What around here, there's one that's not a prepper one, but it's could very well become one. It's Hobby Farms of Southeast Idaho, and they talk about stuff. Yeah, Discord is a website, but they some of the pages in there are set up to meet and greet, and people come in and join it to get information and to connect with other people of like-mindedness too. There was one that was run by Southern Ohio Prepping for a while. There he had it set up just like that. We put a lot of information out there on it for people to download on stuff. So the people would come in, and they were carrying on discourses, all community chats and stuff on it. Yeah, I know UK Urban Prepper has a page. Yeah. Now, one of the things that goes along that come to help develop a community assistance group or a mutual assistance community is people setting up community gardens. And so someone will get together to get a city or an area out, unincorporated area out that's not in the city boundaries yet, but it's kind of surrounded by cities, to set up an area like a park, but it's for community gardens. And people out in those community gardens then go and they wind up getting together, and basically they form sort of a community assistance group there, where they're working, their community is those gardeners around it and taking care of the garden. So there are, and you can also run into people at farmers markets. I've known where several groups have formed out of people meeting at farmers markets, talking with some of the farmers and the sellers there, and things lead to another. As they meet people every week, they're buying stuff from them, selling, and everything else. They wind up developing a bond and forming groups and stuff. One of the things to consider in doing it is, how much energy do you have to put into it? Now, some of the LLCs, the S-Corps, the trusts, the MAGs, even some of the villages or tribes, they have a requirement where, all right, we need to get together, 1 weekend a month to talk, to sit down and do stuff. Sometimes, if they don't have land or something, they'll just meet at the public library and get one of the little conference room reserve the conference room at the library, and they kind of meet in there and they discuss and do things like whatever about conduct business of their group. Others will find like a community center where they can meet, once a month and talk about stuff. And sometimes at community centers, people find out, oh, there's someone meeting here. Oh, it's a self-reliant group of whatever, and other people show up and say, hey, we heard you have this group. We want to know more about your group. We might be interested in joining. Yeah. Part of the reason why city governments aren't interested, because you don't have a lot of people going there and speaking up every meeting, say, hey, we need community gardens. And the people start coming in every meeting talking about we needing community gardens. There's a chance that after a while they're going to say, hey, we need to form there is a interest from our constituents that we want to have community gardens. So that's something you need to do, is get involved with your city government to get things done. Here in Basalt, with me posting all the videos on the city council meetings and everything else, the city leaders went and got some grants for a city park, and they just purchased a new the play structure for it, and they got Rocky Mountain Power to donate a bunch of money to it, because, hey, it's a community thing. So that's stuff that Rocky Mountain Power, Intermountain Gas want to do. They want to put on a good public face. And so that's one of the things happening here, is we now got it that provided the money to purchase it, so it's not coming out of city funds, and that's moving forward here. So there are things to do. Now, some of these groups that I mentioned earlier, their plan is to, the balloon's going up, the crap has hit the fan. We're going over here to the national forest or the national park system, and we're going to camp out in there, away from everybody else that's out here in the city. In some areas, you'd be surprised how close to the city there are national parks and national forests. in the San Francisco Bay Area, in what area known as the East Bay, right in the middle where all the cities are, is the Briones Regional Park. And there are areas in that people have never set foot in. And there are hiking trails all over and stuff. And I've heard a bunch of people talking about, oh, we're going to go into the backwoods of Briones here, where we can set up stuff and be safe, and come out once it's all everything settled down. That's sort of a plan. And they've got several families that are going to do that. So they got a small group. They're going to go in there and they're going to set up. Well, if it's not really a SHTF or Twaki situation, and they're in there and things aren't as bad as they think they are, they're going to get kicked out, because things aren't as bad as they think they are, and their park rangers are still going to be around there. Yeah. And that's why some people do the community thing, the community assistance group, where they get members in the community, they get together and they talk about things. They plan activities like barbecues at the city park or one of the local parks, different things. And they just do different things like that. And just to find out who has skills and stuff. And they wind up having stuff like canning classes and gardening classes. And I've known of a few of them that have actually, as a group, then gone to the community college and signed up, 4 or 5 of them at a time, sign up for a gardening class, a horticulture class, or signed up for to the adult education class, and gone to some classes there, gone to the first aid classes and stuff. They go do classes together to help each other out. Yeah, that's the other thing. You can start guerrilla gardening in the locations you may plan to bug out to. And let me go ahead and pull something up here. Drop that down. If I can get this to work right here. Open this up. There we go. Briones Regional Park. Let me share this here. Brione Regional Park here. Later, get rid of it. Thank you. Let's see if it shows the map on it. Okay, let's see. Going here to the main page here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here's the map. Boom. Bring that map up here. So come on, show the big map. Okay. So the big one here is, I really hate this one. It becomes so disorganized because the big one is not even on the map here. The biggest one is up here north of Lafayette by Pleasant Hill and Hercules. See if I can find the right one here to show you. All right, here we go. Briones right there. This one here has several entrances into it. And this is the one that the Boy Scouts use a lot. Just wish this thing had. Okay. Yeah, they really butchered up. You used to be able to zoom in all the maps and look at things. But yeah, so you look, there's a lot of maps around. We've been to the Black Diamond map. We've used the Carquinez Straits. But Briones is the big one that a lot of the scouts use because it has orienteering trails in there. And there are some wilderness areas in here that nobody goes into hardly at all because there's no trails to them. But yeah, there are also horse riding. But yeah, so if you're going to be doing one of those, that's one of the things you do. Mark's e-bike packing adventures. How's it going? And okay, I don't see Bob in here, but yeah. No, those aren't Bigfoot protection areas because there is no Bigfoot in East Bay area. Bigfoot was smart enough to get the heck out of there 65, 75 years ago. But yeah, the regional wilderness areas in here generally don't have trails in there, and if you're going in there, the park rangers like you to say, "Hey, we're going into these areas here." Uh, yeah, a few states have laws protecting Bigfoot, but yeah, California for the most part has been they've evacuated from California. There are plenty of video shorts out there where Bigfoot's talking about getting out of the certain areas. Anyways, on a serious back to the serious note here. So you can see that. I'm just trying to find something here just in case they have it there. Ooh, I finally found it. Ooh, I actually finally found it. Yes. Hang on, I'm going to bring it back up here. So to give you an example. If you find the one that has a proper map thing, you can zoom in and out of it. And so off the Release Valley Road here, Taylor Boulevard, right over in here should be the that's Oakmont, so it's south of Oakmont. The trailhead. Here we go. And so they have an area here where you can come in and you can start your trail hiking there. And then they got other ones that they got, they see all the little dots. Those are the hiking trails around. And the Crest Trail is actually big enough for vehicles to go on to, but only the park vehicles, or if it's to one of the campsites, you have to limit who can come in. Trying to find the one over here on the one side here. Here we go. Bear Creek staging area. There are some of these roads you can drive on over here on this side to get to the picnic areas and to the camping areas, but they're limited who can go in there. Yeah, it's the Maud Whelan campsite. We've camped there as Boy Scouts. Guaranteed, we've camped there. And you have to get a key to the gate, and you have to return it. But yeah, this is a three-sided gazebo with a monster fire pit in it. There's not showing here, but there's porta potties out here for everyone to use, and there's a lot of activity areas set up in some of these places like that. But the areas that aren't too well covered are the areas farther out a little bit, and in areas where there are no trails around. So, but as far as a prepper group goes, heading into a park like this to try to survive is a short-term aspect. Or archery classes that you will meet some there, and of course you will meet some at gun ranges and stuff, the indoor gun ranges, particularly in the cities. but you also got to be very leery of who you're talking to, and you can't come up. I'm looking for a prepper group to join. Everybody's going to go away from you. Yeah, and I have a bunch that you don't know about too. I got a bunch of nieces and nephews and cousins and stuff that are involved, but we, generally, like I said, I don't talk about them. They don't talk about much about others of the group, about us, having stuff and plans in mind and stuff. And that's one of the things is, we, for my personal one, we don't talk about it. Yes, I got cousins, but you guys don't know who the cousins are, and you don't know all their last names, and you don't know their first, so it's very few people know about them. And those that do know who I am and know who some of my cousins are, if they go up to my cousin, and now I'm not part of that group. That's the first context. I'm not part of that group. Why? To protect the group. Because for us, family first. Yeah, that's the thing too. A lot of the prepping self-reliant pages on Facebook and some of the other platforms, you can't just go into. You can't even view it. You got to put in, say, hey, I would like to join, blah 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 blah, and do that. Then I know some of them do is, all right, you say you want to join. One of the first things they do, they go back to your profile and they start looking at your profile first. And they find stuff on their profile they don't like. They say, sorry, we checked your profile out. You're not what we want in our group. That's just the chat, the open chat, not the little groups within the chat. They just don't want certain people even coming in and interacting with people that are seriously looking and are serious about preparedness. All right. So I think, did I not answer anybody's questions about setting up a group? Anything about setting up a group that I didn't cover and didn't lay out for you guys to give you an idea of what to do to start out on it? Yeah, need to know basis only. Okay, so while that, I'm going to give you a quick heads up what's coming up here. So in the mornings, in continuing the editing of some of my novels. Tomorrow I'm starting an hour later at 12 o'clock noontime. I got to go into Idaho Falls, and Costco doesn't open up till 9 o'clock. The bank doesn't open until 9 o'clock. So I got to hit those at 9 o'clock and then head home here. But Thursday night is the midnight ride. Friday on Camp Patton Family Compound, the topic is seed starting. And we're talking about different things for getting your garden seeds going and stuff beforehand. Saturday on, I forget what the topic was that Shadow was going to do. We were talking about it, and I know he wrote it down last time and talked about it. But for the evening, for my own live stream, after the banks are taken over, what are your plans? So we're going to talk a little bit about financial planning for mitigation and recovery for something like this happening. Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound, recanning bulk food. So we're going to talk about that. So like Tammy's favorite thing is she gets the big number 10 can of nachos cheese sauce. What she pays for that big number 10 can is what 2 small little itty bitty cans cost. So rather than get too small when she gets the big one, and then she just recans it into smaller amounts. And Vanessa Kitty just came in. Next Tuesday here. Next, it's going to be on your a lot of you guys. I'll have Mark and others up here as well. But the topic next Tuesday is you can only have 15 types of canned food, and we're going to figure out what your 15 types of canned food. If you're only limited to 15, what are going to be those 15? All right. Boston, Canada, Paris, we kept putting it off. Opening up, only 2 of you there. Yeah. The thing is, though, with pears, fruit like pears, peaches, apricots, it's a quick water bath. That's easy to do. Let's see. So that's what's coming up here. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's what's coming up in the mornings. If you have free time, yeah, be sure, you can just listen to it, or just put it on to watch, and I appreciate it for the editing stuff. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in, and hopefully I'll see you around either in the morning or in the evening. Take care. Stay safe. Keep adding to your preps. Learn a new skill every month, and start thinking about putting that garden in. All right. Take care, everyone.